Hey, Sassy Stuff, what's up? I'm Molly, and I'm back with my girl Chizzy here to talk all things LSU versus Ole Miss. Definitely an upset that Chizzy was not looking forward to. Chizzy, as a honorary LSU fan, how was it watching that game last night for you?
Can someone please help our offense? That's all I'm praying for. Our defense, like, I feel so bad for them because that was the question coming into the season. Can LSU fix their defense? Can LSU fix their defense? We have. We very much so improved. And now our offense is crumbling the whole program right now. And it's just a question of, can we just fix this O line? I know everyone's coming for Nuss, and certain extent, yes. But I just can't with the coaching, the play calls all last night. It was a mess. It was a mess for sure.
I mean, Ole Miss came in at 24, LSU 19. LSU has come in the top four teams. This was their first loss of the season, which has been, I think, detrimental for the LSU fans. However, we are still, in my opinion, a little early into college football. I know we're technically almost halfway through the season before playoffs start, but I do think it's kind of early because there hasn't been a ton of SEC play yet for a lot of these teams. This is kind of that starting week of some really tough games for quite a few teams in the SEC. But with this win, Ole Miss has improved to 5-0 overall and 3-0 in the SEC. Once again, we're still pretty early on in the schedule here. How are you feeling as an LSU fan coming into the next 5 weeks? For every team is a really difficult 5 weeks. Are you prepared? Do you think your team is prepared for the next 5 weeks?
Um, I don't think we're prepared unless we make some changes. Looking at just even the stats from last night, I said this in the preview. We were going against Ole Miss, which has the worst run defense. They have allowed 762 rushing yards prior to the LSU game. And we come in and we only attempt two rushing attempts in the first half. And we average 57 rushing yards, 22 carries, and average 2.6 yards a game. Uh, the blueprint was there. You have the worst run defense. You barely do anything on rushing. Yes, Caden Durham was out, but still, the O line just looked insane. Um, and Nuss couldn't really do much. I know, like, everyone was saying, like, if you look at his stats, he had 21 completed 21 of his passes, 21 out of 34 of his passes, 197 yards, one touchdown and one interception. But like they were saying consistently on the broadcast, there was three men rushing. Ole Miss was doing a 3-man rush, eight-man drop, and so that's really hard for a quarterback. And if you don't have a good O line, there's not much he can do. So if you're seeing that consistently as LSU, why are we not rushing the ball? It's just terrible. And everyone has said it throughout the course of us playing. What is going to happen on this offense? And I just feel like if we do not switch some things up, it's not going to look good going into SEC play.
Yeah, and I think, on the Ole Miss side, obviously there's so many injuries right now in college football. I feel like there's so many people out where a lot of these teams are working with their second strings, but Ole Miss was working with a second string quarterback this game. Uh, Good for him. Honestly, what a game to win as a second string quarterback. But he threw for 314 yards, one touchdown, also rushed for 71 yards. I think that's pretty impressive for a quarterback, in my opinion. Ole Miss amassed 480 yards total on the offensive side. The defense held LSU to just 254 total yards, including only 57 rushing yards.
Calling and the execution were our biggest issues. We have, like you said, we have very talented players, but it comes down to the coaching. And I feel like Brian Kelly hasn't really addressed that either. He's kind of like thrown the players under the bus in a sense, kind of like everyone needs to do better, but it's like the calls coming from inside the house. Y'all need to do better on coaching because there should be no reason. Like you said before, Ole Miss is a decent team, but like LSU made Ole Miss look like they were Ohio State. Like they made them look top tier. It was just kind of ridiculous. And if you watch throughout the game, you're just watching and looking at the plays like, why would we run that? Why are we doing a why are we running the ball on 3rd and 20? That doesn't make sense.
I'm not sure. Like you said, the play calls were definitely rough. Rough. Plus, I mean, Ole Miss committed 14 penalties over 100 yards. I feel like they had LSU had every opportunity to run the dang ball. They had every opportunity to score. So the fact that Ole Miss just they had so many penalties, I this was insane.
It was quite insane. And Brian Kelly was saying in his press conference, I know it was kind of taken out of context because I kind of watched the beginning. The reporter asked a question on like how is Nuss playing? Like, is he hurt type thing? And he was saying like Nuss needs to do better. Like it doesn't come down to that. Because I feel like a lot of people are speculating that this Nuss that we're seeing compared to last season, something has to have happened. Which I kind of feel like they're kind of downplaying his injury that he has. But besides that, he was kind of pointing out everyone and he was like, the defense needs to be more consistent, which I think is kind of crazy, a statement to say because defense was helping the whole game. But if he's talking about in terms of penalties, I 100% agree because the defense just continuously, we keep seeing this. We even saw it in the Florida game and games before that. They'll make dumb mistakes that cost them the game and put the opposing team in a better chance to score. So on that end, I 100% agree with him. But in terms of just the play style, no. Defense, Brian Kelly, we got to do something on offense. And I'm tired of him just diverting the question and nothing is changing. I'm actually so tired. So hard.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I want to talk something a little girly though because I think this had to have been the highlight of the season so far for me was Lane Kiffin. Like he is I think when he retires and he's done with coaching, he should go on tour for a comedy show. I really feel it. Um Earlier this week we kind of got to talk about it on social media, but there was some drama going back and forth with Lane Kiffin and I just think last night in the press conference, wow. Like
I hate to say, I actually really do like Lane Kiffin. He's hilarious. He's
he's
hilarious.
got DAWG in him. Like he's got that dog. You know what I'm saying? Like he is like I would love to sit down and have like a beer. Like I just want to like talk to him. He is hilarious. And the fact how embarrassing to be his daughter is like her boyfriend this week.
Even in the post game, he was like, the reporter's asking him a question. He's like, I need to go check on Whit real quick. And I'm like, Lane, you're so funny. And then yesterday he was up at 2 a.m. just tweeting. There was a video of Whit Weeks throwing up. I know everyone saw it. And someone was like, oh, what did Landry give Whit? And then he commented, he was just like tempo. I'm like, I at 2 a.m., mind you, it's past the game. Lane is so funny. He's
Lane is this is gonna live in his mind rent free for the rest of his life. Like this is gonna be the moment he looks back on when he's retired, being like, I think that was the best thing I could have done in my entire career was just that there. No, I think it was a great game. Like I understand it, it was very unfortunate for LSU. But honestly, 24 to 19 is not terrible. Like it's not like the drama on especially Twitter and Instagram last night made it seem like LSU just completely got their butts whooped. I don't think it's that.
in the SEC, especially it being LSU, they want, like what Brian Kelly said in the press conference, you want us to drop 70 points. Like, it's if it's not high scoring, there's going to be an issue regardless. So, yeah, I think we do tend to dramatize it a lot, but I think it's like also knowing how bad Ole Miss's D line is. There's no words. There's no words to compare to what LSU put out in the universe, in the world.
I mean, everybody kind of has that one upset though. Like obviously last year, Texas losing to Georgia, Alabama losing to Vandy. Like there were a lot of upsets that last year. I'm sure there's going to be a lot this year. I think as we get further and further into conference play, it's just going to get worse, in my opinion. I think the teams are so equally equipped. I think this year, and it's really just who's going to have the best coaching staff and who's going to just be caught on their best play day. Um, yeah, and like you were saying with coaching, I think the coaches this year, I don't know why, but the coaching this year, and I think this is across the board in my opinion, seems to be worse than last year. Like coaches that I feel like were great last year and called amazing plays this year are just, I don't, everybody seems to be fumbling a little bit. And I don't know if it's just the pressure of how big college football is right now. I think it's a very trendy thing right now to be a college football fan, especially in the SEC. A lot of celebrities are stepping on the field, especially with Texas. So I'm not really sure, what is it, just pressure? I don't know, but I think each of these teams, every week when I watch football, I'm like, some of these coaches, like, what are we doing? What's going on?
I feel like also it's kind of like the pressure of like now we're in the second run into the college football playoffs of like, okay, new format, it's still developing, and so trying to prove yourself in this new world of college football, the pressure is on, and more NIL and all that stuff. You're trying to win recruits. Like you said, kind of like a flip off of like, wait, you guys are just coaching good. What just happened? Why are we running these plays?
Yeah, what is this? What football drugs are we taking? Like just run the ball. Like run the dang ball in the words of Sandra Bullock. So,
I know as an LSU fan, I was on my LSU tangent, but I have to give it to Trinidad Chambliss. He's been phenomenal. He's so poised. The way he was like, I know in the preview, I was just like, we have to make him scramble, like, make sure he's not in the pocket. Even with LSU bringing pressure, he made a play every time, and he just looked so calm, like the whole time he was playing. He's the first SEC player with 300 passing yards, 50 rushing yards in 3 consecutive games in 30 years. I just think he's doing something so remarkable, especially coming from being in a D2 program and just stepping up, and then just so happens that someone gets injured and now he has a starting job, and I feel like he has earned it completely. Like the question of if Austin Simmons is going to come back,
mhm.
I don't think it's really a question. I think he's won his role and has won his spot as well.
Yeah, I'm always rooting for the underdog. I'm kind of like, actually, this kid that like came out of nowhere could be cool. Could be a fun story for me.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let us know what you guys were thinking in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.